We are going to do inhumane farming methods. You will think that farming with animals would be a great thing, where animals are out in pastures and have access to shelter during bad weather, where the animals can roam around freely, are not caged in, and can eat as the need arises. This here is seen as humane treatment of animals. This type of treatment is based on the understanding of their natural behavior. This is known as good husbandry. It accommodates the natural ways of animals and tends to be much more in tune with suitable and non-polluting farm practices. But then we are going to focus more on inhumane farming methods. Now, with that being said, what is inhumane farming methods? Inhumane farming methods as the procedures which are implemented in the rearing of farm animals. Forced feeding or feeding in industrialized methods for increased productivity. These farm animals are often utilized as production items instead of considering them as creatures of sentiments. Factory farming is an attitude that regards animals and the natural world merely as commodities to be exploited for profit. In animal agriculture, this attitude has led to the institutionalization of animal cruelty, massive environmental destruction, the depletion of resources, and animal and human risk. When it comes to today's trend of animal farming, industrial style animal raising ignores animal nature and welfare by doing the following. The first one is by standardizing the animal raised to eliminate natural genetic diversity. Secondly, they do that by speeding up animal production through genetic manipulation. Thirdly, the use of chemical and drug additives to feed. Fourthly, concentrating production in giant confinement barns that are overcrowded with animals in inhumane conditions, where diseases can easily spread. These facilities are actually animal factories. Now we are going to look at examples of inhumane practices, and they are as follows. Number one, dairy cows kept in concrete feedlots and injected with hormones to boost milk production. These hormones can cause crippling loss of bone mass and produce painful infections. Just imagine animals are milked up to 3 times a day by machines. 2. Battery-kept chickens on egg farms are kept in small cages, often no more than an A4 sheet of paper. Just imagine 30 chickens in an A4 paper sheet. Often they are forced to spend most of their lives sitting down, meaning that they do not have freedom. They cannot move as they want to. They can never walk or stand up properly, and their diet causes their bones to weaken, resulting in easy and painful bone fractures. These chickens are also often forced to sit on floors in their own excreta, which contains high levels of ammonia and which can cause painful chemical burns with prolonged exposure to skin and flesh. After only one short year of egg production, these hens are sold to be slaughtered, which is also not so natural. Then broiler chickens are genetically modified to grow faster and bigger and pumped full of drugs in their feed to meet the growing demand for meat in South Africa. About 18 million chickens are slaughtered each week. Some become crippled because their legs cannot support the weight of their bodies. It takes only 6 weeks to raise a broiler chick. It is then slaughtered. Animals raised in feedlots are fed diets specifically designed to fatten them up as quickly and as cheaply as possible. Most South African beef is grain-fed, which means the animals are grass-fed for a short while and then moved into feedlots. From here, they are then fed a scientifically formulated diet with the main ingredients. It's made up of soy and or grain. Naturally, a cow's digestive system is suited to digesting grass, and this unnatural corn diet affects the cow's digestive system, which makes the frequent use of antibiotics unavoidable. Most animals are also given synthetic growth hormones to reach their slaughter weight faster. Animals are artificially inseminated or impregnated, making them produce offsprings again and again and again. Animals have to live in spaces much too cramped or too small for all to move around, meaning that they do not have freedom to move around at all. Activity 4, you write it in your books, please.